Jack Steele never thought the loudest bang he'd ever hear wouldn't come from an engine backfiring but from the sky splitting open above his barn. 1 second, he was flipping bacon in a cast-iron pan, half listening to a tractor repair podcast. The next, boom. Tin roof rattled, the ground trembled, and something sleek, silver, and steaming crashed right through his hayloft. He ran out, bacon still in hand. The thing looked like a giant curling iron made love to a spaceship. Doors hissed open with a soft whimper, and out stepped something Jack's brain struggled to compute. A woman. Or something very close. Tall, glowing faintly violet, wearing what could barely be called clothes, just a shimmering wrap that did nothing to hide the curves underneath. She blinked. You. Are you the dominant male of this territory? Jack dropped his bacon. Yeah? I guess. You crashed into my barn, so that checks out. Her eyes scanned him, stopping uncomfortably long at his arms. Primitive, but symmetrical. You'll do. Excuse me? I require immediate assistance. My biochip is overheating. You must probe me. Jack's mouth opened. Then closed. Then opened again. Lady, I didn't even buy you dinner. She tilted her head. Is thermal discharge taboo on this planet? Thermal discharge, wait, probe you. What kind of freaky spaceship is this? She turned, revealing a small device lodged between her shoulder blades, emitting smoke. Remove it and thrust something metallic into the port. Jack scratched his head. Okay, just so we're clear, you're talking about fixing a thing, right? Like a tool thing. Not a weird thing. I don't have time for mating rituals, Earthman. Wasn't offering. Still, he stepped closer. Her skin shimmered like moonlight and smelled faintly like hot strawberry jam. He tugged the device out and dropped it into a nearby paint bucket. Good. Now release pressure. Jack coughed. You gotta stop saying things like that. My translator adapts to dominant vernaculars. If my dialect stimulates inappropriate tension, I will adjust the phrasing. He glanced at her hips. You sure it's just the phrasing? I now request nourishment. You're not gonna ask me to feed you using my mouth or something, are you? She blinked slowly. Only if protocol requires it. He bolted to the fridge. In the kitchen, he slapped together a bacon sandwich. When he handed it to her, she looked at it like it was a puzzle. What is this? Bacon. The thing of gods. Compressed flesh between porous slabs, intriguing. Is this a pre-mating gift? Jack nearly choked. It's a sandwich. She bit into it and moaned loudly. Jack shifted uncomfortably. Ma'am, please don't make that sound in my kitchen. I'm absorbing flavor. Your bacon induces localized euphoria. What is the source species? A pig? She paused. This pig, is it dangerous? Only if you're a vegetarian. Suddenly, her knees buckled, and she grabbed the counter. You all right? I must rest. My inner core is destabilized. Jack scratched his neck. Sounds like my ex. I require a privacy pod. You mean a bed? She gestured toward the hallway. Lead me to your ritual cleansing chamber. He stopped dead. You mean the shower? I will enter alone. You must remain alert for predators. If approached, initiate aggressive posturing. Jack squinted. Like flex? Yes. Emphasize biceps. It suggests readiness to mate or fight. Both are respected forms of deterrence. She stepped into the bathroom. He stared at the closed door, unsure if he was losing his mind or just somehow stumbled into the universe's weirdest porn plot. Then again, her voice wasn't sultry. It was serious, like asking for jumper cables during a thunderstorm. The sound of water running pulled him out of his thoughts. Then came singing. An alien. Weirdly, it sounded like a jazz remix of Hit Me Baby One More Time. Jack sat down, sandwich in hand, thinking of what just happened. A glowing space goddess just crash-landed into his barn, asked him to probe her, eat his bacon, and now she was in his shower belting out Britney Spears in space opera style. His mom told him he'd never amount to anything. Bet she didn't see this one coming. The bathroom door opened, steam pouring out. Princess Zeltrana stepped into view, still damp, barely covered by his oversized flannel shirt. Her hair shimmered like solar flares. I've accessed your water cleaning ritual. I'm recalibrated. He stood too fast and hit his hip on the table. Do Earthmen often suffer from spatial coordination issues? Only when intergalactic royalty steals their shirt. This fabric. It smells of sweat and burnt meat. It is oddly comforting. She flopped on his couch. I will recharge now. Jack stood there, stunned, until she rolled over and muttered, Wake me if war arrives. And just like that, the alien in his house passed out, wrapped in flannel and dreams of bacon. Jack took a long sip of beer, watching her snooze. Well, this beats Tinder. Jack woke to the smell of something burning. He rushed to the kitchen and found her standing over the toaster, staring at it like it was a hostile alien. I initiated your nourishment device. It retaliated. Smoke rose as charred toast flew out. She caught one midair like a ninja. Your combustion-based technology is aggressive. That's a toaster, not a plasma weapon. I suspected as much. It lacks targeting precision. She took a bite of blackened bread and chewed with slow, cautious dignity. Jack grabbed the spatula. Sit. I'll handle breakfast. Just don't touch anything that glows or clicks. She sat down obediently but pointed at the microwave. Is that a thermal energizer? It's a microwave. Her eyes narrowed. Do not allow it near my implants. They may detonate. He spun around. What do you mean detonate? Minor probability. 3.7% at most. He turned it off for safety. She watched him cook eggs like he was performing sacred magic. When he slid the plate in front of her, she studied it. Scrambled ovum. Offered without ceremony, yet aesthetically pleasing. Jack rubbed his temples. Just eat, lady. I am Princess Zeltrana of Lustran Prime, first bonded heir of the Star Dominion. Right. Princess Sparkle, got it. She bit into an egg and froze. Oh. Oh no. What now? My cranial sensors are interpreting this flavor as erotic. Jack dropped his fork. It's eggs. Your mating foods are dangerously sensual. He laughed, mostly to hide the part of him that was actually flattered. I require protection. Jack blinked. I don't know if I have any. I mean, it's been a while since. Not that kind. I need a defense perimeter. Oh. She stood, voice low and commanding. They'll come for me. My crash site is a signal beacon. Bounty hunters, rebels, power-hungry uncles. Someone will try to claim my head. Well, you picked a hell of a planet for a hideout. Earth is primitive. Crude. But unpredictable. I find it oddly comforting. Sparky clanked into the room, his robotic tail twitching. Well. If it isn't the glitter bomb in heels. Zeltrana eyed him. Is that your domestic servant? Sparky scoffed. I'm the brains around here. You're the sparkle hazard. You are malfunctioning. And you're overdressed for a nudist moon. Call it even. Jack waved. Stop flirting. Both of you. Zeltrana stood. Where is your fortress of defense? My what? Your battle bunker. Surely you've reinforced your territory. Jack showed her the garage. She frowned. This is your mating chariot? That's a truck. It makes aggressive sounds and expels gas. I assumed it was for ritual display. Close enough. She walked around it, hands on hips, inspecting it like a military asset. How fast does it thrust? Jack coughed. It's got torque. Not thrust. Does it require stimulation before it engages? You mean ignition? Ignition. Yes. I shall drive it. No. No. That's not a good idea. I've piloted starships blindfolded during meteor storms. Cool story. This has a clutch. You'd kill someone. Then teach me. He sighed. Princess, teaching someone to drive stick is a sacred right of trust. I have trusted you with my naked form and scrambled ovum. This is next. He gave in. After stalling 5 times and launching a mailbox into orbit, they gave up and sat on the tailgate. Your world is stubborn. Like its people. She glanced at him sideways. You are unconventional. Unpredictable. Possibly insane. But oddly competent. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. She turned, suddenly serious. I activated a distress link before I crashed. If it was intercepted, bounty hunters could already be in orbit. If they land here, they'll assume you're my consort. Jack blinked. Come again? They'll think we've mated. He nearly fell off the truck. Do Earthmen always react this way to partnership assumptions? Only when the woman's glowing and keeps using the word probe in casual conversation. Then you must play the role. For your safety. For mine. Jack pointed at himself. Me? Play royal consort to space royalty? Lady, I fix broken engines, not galactic reputations. You saved me. That makes you eligible. For what? Alien tax fraud? For life bonding. The highest honor in our dominion. I just pulled a chip out of your back. That's not marriage. It is on Lustran Prime. Jack sat in stunned silence. Well, I guess I'm honored. Do not be. It comes with death threats. Well, at least the bacon's still good. She smirked. You Earthmen attach great value to pork. It's endearing. And mildly disturbing. Sparky interrupted. Incoming signal. Triangulating. Yep. You're screwed. Zeltrana rose. Prepare the mating chariot. We must relocate. Jack muttered. We're all gonna die in flannel and duct tape. Zeltrana placed a hand on his. Trust me. With my command and your questionable ingenuity, we stand a chance. He looked at her, truly looked this time, glowing alien royalty, crash-landed in his barn, now dragging him into a galactic mess. You ever wonder if bacon's the only reason we haven't blown up the planet yet? All the time, she whispered. Now start the mating beast. It's time to pretend we're in love. Jack sat on his busted porch with his head in his hands, trying to process that he'd been life-bonded to an alien princess over eggs and engine grease. Inside, Zeltrana was busy turning his microwave into what she called an interstellar broadcast beacon. He wasn't sure how she did it, but Sparky was already hiding behind the fridge in case it exploded. I've tapped into the Alliance frequency, she called out. Stand beside me. We must announce our union. Our what now? She snapped her fingers. You are my chosen consort. Appear dominant. Jack threw on his least greasy flannel. This is my dominant look. The screen lit up. A dozen floating heads appeared, green, blue, tentacled, horned, each reacting differently to the sight of Jack. Who is the carbon-based creature beside the air? One hissed. Zeltrana raised her chin. This is Jack Steele. My life-bonded mate. Earth's prime male. Jack smiled awkwardly and waved. Hi. I fix tractors. The council murmured. He looks absorbent. Another alien squinted. Why is he wearing a curtain? Zeltrana beamed. He wears symbols of power from his domain. The sacred flannel. Jack leaned closer. Is this where I flex or something? Only if provoked. Got it. One ambassador sneered. The Dominion demands proof of your union. If the air is faking this alliance, the treaty collapses. Jack turned to Zeltrana. They think we're faking this? They do. And if they find out we are? They will declare war. Awesome. Another alien cut in. Prove your bond through the ritual of recognition. Jack raised a brow. Please don't say that involves nudity. Skin-to-skin hand grasp and a shared vow. Zeltrana replied. Optional, oral bacon exchange. I have questions. No time. She reached for his hand. Jack Steele of Earth, Do you vow to stand by my side through battle, breakfast, and bureaucratic nonsense? He blinked. Yeah, sure. I vow. They touched hands. A burst of golden light shot from the screen. One alien sobbed. It's beautiful. Another passed out. I now recognize the Union, the lead ambassador said. May your mating remain stable. The feed cut. Jack turned to her. That's it. We're space married now? Temporarily. Once we stabilize the throne, the bond can be annulled. Right. Fake marriage. Got it. Unless you grow fond of me. Jack choked. What? She moved past it. We have 48 hours to appear united. Act the part. Which part? The emotionally distant husband or the guy who forgets anniversaries? Be charming. Be bold. Be my consort. Jack sighed. I hope space insurance covers emotional trauma. Later, they practiced royal protocols in the garage. Zeltrana walked in slow, exaggerated strides while Jack tried to bow without tripping over an oil can. This is ridiculous, he muttered. You must command presents. I command pizza on Fridays. That's it. Sparky rolled in. Breaking news. A rebel warlord just put a bounty on your head, Jack. Jack froze. Why me? You're the consort. Eliminating you weakens her claim. Zeltrana nodded. They expect a weak mate. A soft male. Jack threw down his wrench. Soft? I once fought a raccoon with a broom at 3 a.m. Then let the galaxy see that. She grabbed him by the collar. Tomorrow, we go live on intergalactic broadcast. You'll be introduced as Earth's Alpha. Jack looked down. Should I shave? No. The neck fur implies virility. You know, I've been called worse. And wear the glitter sash. The what? Symbol of bonding. Great. Now I'm a married man with sparkles. She stepped back. Jack, you're a mechanic. A flawed, sarcastic, bacon-loving man. Thanks, I think. But in this moment you're my shield. Jack stood a little straighter. Then let's fake the hell out of this marriage. And if the galaxy falls for it? Then we ask them for a honeymoon. Jack stood in front of the galactic camera, wrapped in a sparkling sash that made him look like a pageant winner with a drinking problem. Next to him, Zeltrana was regal, flawless, and absolutely unfazed by the absurdity of introducing her fake husband to the universe. The announcer's voice boomed. Presenting the bonded consort of Princess Zeltrana, Earth's alpha male. Jack leaned toward her. I hope they don't ask me to flex. They will. The camera hovered close. A dozen alien representatives watched the live broadcast from across the galaxy. Their expressions ranged from confused to mildly horrified. Speak, Zeltrana whispered. Jack cleared his throat. Greetings, noble aliens. I'm Jack Steele. From Nevada. I fix stuff. I like bacon. And I'm very loyal, unless you eat my leftovers. Then we've got problems. Silence. Then one ambassador asked, What are your mating rituals? Jack blinked. I usually start with dinner and a compliment. If that fails, I fake confidence until it works. A purple ambassador murmured. A warrior's strategy. Another asked. How do you assert dominance over the air? Jack glanced at Zeltrana. She lets me hold the remote. Sometimes. She didn't blink. He added quickly. But mostly, I provide emotional stability, and she threatens people. It's a nice balance. The audience whispered among themselves. The host declared. For final validation, the consort must pass the gauntlet of proving. Jack raised an eyebrow. Is that like a quiz or more of a death arena thing? You must survive a simulated attack while protecting your mate. He looked at Zeltrana. Did I sign up for this? You bacon bonded me. This is the consequence. Bacon never warned me it came with battle drills. He was dropped into a simulation, a holographic war zone. Giant crab dogs with laser eyes charged at him. Jack grabbed a wrench, a roll of duct tape, and a trash can lid. he improvised. He used bacon grease to blind one. Threw the trash lid like a frisbee into another's face. Screamed obscenities until the rest backed off in confusion. When the simulation ended, the council was speechless. Zeltrana smiled. You survived, Jack panted. Barely. That's more than enough. The council leader rose. The consort is acceptable. Applause echoed through the transmission. But a new signal interrupted. A warlord's hologram flared up, face like a melted tire with spikes. I challenge this mating claim. He is a fraud. Zeltrana stepped forward. Do you wish to test us? I demand a live ritual of union. Jack whispered. What's that? A public kiss. His eyes widened. A kiss? In front of the galaxy? Zeltrana turned. Do you prefer planetary war? Fine. But I'm not using tongue on camera. She leaned in, lips brushing his in the softest, slowest kiss possible. The kind that looked tame on camera but short-circuited every logical thought in his brain. When they pulled back, Jack stared blankly. That was pretty good acting. She smirked. Who said I was acting? The council approved the bond. The challenge was dismissed. War averted. Peace reestablished. They signed off. The camera powered down. Jack yanked off the sash. If I never wear glitter again, I'll die happy. Zeltrana placed her hand on his shoulder. You were absurd. Crude. Inappropriate. Thanks? And the most effective consort I could have asked for. You saying you liked my trash confiding style? I'm saying Earth's chaos may be its greatest weapon. He sat down, finally exhaling. So, when do we annul this galactic marriage? She looked away. It was meant to be temporary. But I'm reconsidering. Jack raised a brow. You want to keep playing space husband? I'm not ready to give up bacon. Or duct tape diplomacy. He smirked. You stick around, and I'll show you how to fix an engine with chewing gum. She stepped closer. And you'll learn how to dismantle a star cruiser with one word. What's the word? She leaned in. Mine. Jack's grin spread slowly. Well, Princess, you just made first contact a lot more interesting.